Hey guys, welcome back to the Mountain Wizard. So when our main power source for the cabin falls short, we are able to use this portable generator through one connection going into the house to power all of the components inside the house, as well as to recharge our portable power station, the Jackery 3600 Plus, without running extension cords all throughout the cabin, causing a trip hazard and other issues that may come along with that. This unit right here, I'm going to take you through how to set it up, what parts are involved for that, and what it is capable of running in this cabin. So if this is the kind of information that you are looking for in your life, please go ahead and subscribe and share this with other folks so that way we can keep all the like-minded folks on this channel and communicating together. So let's go on and get started. All right, I've installed several of these systems myself. However, electrical panel work can kill you. And in a grid-connected house, there can still be energized components even with your main breaker panel off. So if you are not trained, qualified, and completely confident, please bring in a certified electrician to help you accomplish this. So I have all of this power coming in through this one box. This is an RV Mate generator inlet box. It is rated at 50 amps. Here we are using a Teleglow 10-foot 30 amp to 50 amp adapter cord that is being powered by the WIN 6800 watt. That's the surge wattage. It's a 5100 watt running wattage, but it is the WIN inverter generator. There will be links to all of these components down below. Some of them are affiliate links, but they help support the channel. Now, when we come into the box here, we're going to be feeding this through a Square D 50 amp double pole breaker that is wired up with 8 gauge wire. And we have a Square D interlock here. This is the one piece of metal that is keeping everything safe in this and preventing us from having 2 inlet sources into the breaker panel. This inlet, this interlock here is a 125 amp interlock kit for the Square D panel. These are panel specific and they can even be amperage specific. So you need to know exactly what panel you are working with before you pick up your interlock kit. This is a 125 amp Homeline Square D panel. So that is how all these components come together. Again, there will be affiliate links down below. Some of them may not be affiliate links, but that's what helps support the channel, costs you nothing extra, and helps us to be able to put all of these components in one place for you. So again, this interlock here is made specifically for this panel. It is a mechanical contraption, for lack of another word, that prevents you from having a breaker turned on and providing 2 sources of inlet power. So the way this works is you would turn off your main panel power, you would slide up your generator interlock, then you would flip on your generator inlet power. Again, when you're ready to flip back to the grid or to your primary source of power, you would turn off your generator, you would slide down your interlock bracket, and then you would be able to flip on your main power source. So, power source off, interlock up. Now your power source is restricted, and then you are able to turn on your secondary power source. When you're ready to go back to your primary, off with your secondary, slide your interlock down, and back on with your primary. And that has prevented your secondary from being able to be turned back on. So, when you choose this interlock kit, it is not just panel specific, but it is also amperage specific. I know that Square D itself, they have a 100 amp and 125 amp, and they will not interchange. So you need to look at your panel and your amperage load rating and get those to work together when you choose your interlock. If you have any questions, reach out to a qualified electrician. They should be able to walk you through this. So this particular cabin is off-grid. It is the primary source of power for this is a Jackery 3600 Plus powered by two 600-watt solar panels. The generator inlet here that I've been showing you allows us extended run times in episodes of limited sun exposure, so overcast, a really long storm season, and things of that nature. The size of the generator I have chosen here allows us to be able to recharge our Jackery 3600 Plus, which is going to bring in about 1500 watts while recharging, and leaves us with plenty of power to be able to run all of the rest of the appliances in our home, or in this cabin rather, without overloading the generator. We're still only at about 80%, even at max output, okay? So even when we're running the mini split and we're running the fridge compressor and the well pump all kicks on and we're charging the Jackery, we're still well within the parameters of this WEN 6800 watt inverter generator. The 6800 watt on this generator is the surge capacity. It has a running wattage of about 5100, and those numbers are slightly less when you're running off of propane because this is a dual fuel generator. I do not have those particular numbers memorized at the moment. But the general idea here and the concept works with grid-tied houses. However, one of the things that you can run into with the grid-tied house is needing to meet additional requirements to really make sure that you have isolated your generator inlet power from your grid power. That protects your grid and line workers while they are working on the outage, during an outage, while they're working on the lines, and make sure that you're not backfeeding into them. So, the general concept, it all works, but you need to make sure that you meet your local requirements. And you need to keep in mind that when you are grid tied like that, just because your main breaker is off does not mean that every component inside your breaker panel is de-energized. You need to have a voltmeter on hand and you need to test these things. And if you are uncomfortable with any of this, you need to bring in a qualified electrician to perform this for you. This is the WEN 6800 watt inverter generator, okay? The surge wattage on this in gas is 6800 watts. When you switch over to propane, you're gonna drop down to 6000 watts on your surge. On your rated running watts, it is 5100 watts on gas and 4500 watts when you're on propane. This is a 60 hertz. It is a split phase capable, with your rated voltage being 120 and 240 volt, respectively. So, it does have a 30 amp plug on the front. And what I am using here is a cord that is made as an adapter. So, one end of this cord is going to plug into this TT-30R RV plug. It is a 3-prong plug. And the other end of this is a 50 amp twist lock RV cord that plugs into our generator inlet box. So, a couple of things here when you're with your generator, when you are going to start this up and use it to run your cabin. Start your generator with no load. Let it warm up and let it get to an idle and be well warmed up and ready to go, okay? You want your exhaust to be pointing away from your cabin or your home. You do not want it near any doors, any windows, any vents, not in the garage. You want it away from the house. You want it, use long enough a cord that you have the space to be able to get this out and away. Now, when you go to start running your house off the generator, you do not want to flip on your main breaker and just start powering everything at once. You need to take it slow, and you need to take into consideration the wattage draw that you are requiring from the generator to power your house. So, what I mean by that is you may not want to flip on your air conditioner breaker if you don't have a large enough generator, okay? Because you're not going to be able to power your air conditioner and also power a microwave. So you may need to do a little give and take there. And you just need to be aware of what you're trying to run. There's numerous videos that go into how to size a generator to your house. We're not going to do that here. Something to keep in mind though, you want to turn on these breakers to feed your house one at a time individually, okay? And that way you're not overloading your generator. Now, back to the gasoline and propane deal. The pros with the propane is the shelf life is long, okay? That's one of the biggest pros to the propane. You can store a lot of fuel indefinitely and not have to worry about it going bad. It's also easy to start on the generator, okay? If you go to gasoline, your availability of fuel is much easier, okay? Much easier to come across, and your running wattage is higher. So you are gonna have to weigh out your pros there and see which is the best application for you. But the main thing is, make sure that you have the correct cord made up. Do not have a bunch of adapters. Those are known for being, for lack of another word, melting points, okay? When you have multiple connectors like that. And you want to make sure that your exhaust is pointed away from your home or cabin and not near any doors, windows, vents, and certainly not inside the garage. Working carbon monoxide detectors inside your cabin or home is a must when you're doing this sort of thing. The other advantage of the cabin being set up like this in an off-grid manner is I have the option to run it two different ways. I can either use this gas-powered generator here at this generator inlet box, or I can have the Jackery 3600 Plus feeding the main breaker panel on this panel. And so that gives me flexibility to either operate off of gas or off of the sun and being able to switch back and forth. Now, before you go choose a solar generator to operate your home or off-grid cabin, there are a few things you need to check. One is its split phase capability and the voltage that it puts out. Not all solar generators are compatible with running a main breaker panel in the traditional wiring sense. So those are things that you need to verify. You need to check with the manufacturer and make sure that there are no restrictions or reasons that it would not work. And you need to look up your voltage and split phase capabilities before you go into this. So the material costs for this project run me about $950. That is the double pole breaker inside the main panel here, the interlock, the cord itself, the generator interlock box, or the generator inlet box, and the inverter generator. Now, your cost can vary greatly depending on how far from your box your generator inlet is going to be, how far your main breaker panel is going to be from your generator inlet box, because all of the conduit and wiring is certainly not cheap. But this was well worth it to me to be able to have one inlet to power this entire cabin, or in some instances a house, and not have a pile of extension cords all over the floor where we're still only able to run individual circuits, you know, running an extension cord to a fridge and running an extension cord over to a microwave or things like that. You still wouldn't be able to, in that primary way of doing things, okay? You wouldn't have the means to be able to turn on overhead lights, to be able to turn on ceiling fans, to be able to run your air conditioner and such. So $950 is worth it to me to be able to put all this together and to be able to run the cabin safely. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas, please leave them in the comment section but down below. If this is something you enjoy seeing or would like to see more of, or you have thoughts or ideas, I'm interested in hearing them. And please subscribe and share this with other like-minded individuals. Now, down in the description box below, I will have links to all of the components used today in this video. Some of them are affiliate links, and that is what helps support the channel. They cost you nothing extra, and sometimes they give us a little bit of a kickback to help us be able to produce content like this for you. Hopefully this helps you with your off-grid journey or wherever life may take you. Really appreciate your time, and thanks again for stopping by. Mountain Wizard out. See ya.